will be up next. We have Randy right here in the yellow trunks. He is playing Protoss on the crevasse versus his opponent, the one and only PureBall, who took the first game. He's in the purple trunks and he is playing Terran. This is an eternal grudge match that will never end, and I don't think it's going to get any more pleasant now that Randy's decided that it would be a great idea to race switch to Protoss. Don't do that. If you want to stay friends with PureBall, don't do that. That's mean. I had a car ride down to London with PureBall after we both wanted to get the train down to the Dignitas Gamer Search, and all the trains down south were cancelled. So we did a 6-hour car ride down to London, and if I was to tell you the ratio of conversation between I hate Protoss and everything else, I'm fairly sure it was at least 70-30. I don't blame the guy. Not at all. There are so many sentiments every time Protoss wins something. He's like, oh god, Protoss so OP. Personally, I don't like to engage in balanced discussion, so I was just sort of sitting there nodding my head because I know PureBall's such a much better player than I am, but still. He doesn't like Protoss. I would expect cheese from PureBall. You know, PureBall get a bit cheesy. Absolutely, why not? Funny thing is, if he actually spots this probe, he might be able to figure out where his opponent is. And is he gonna see it? He is. Or will he? Now, he's going to think that's a scout, isn't it? So then he's going to think that he's there. That would make sense. In the meantime, I would imagine that Randy might imagine the same thing. Yes. Go on, PureBall. Go find him. He's down there. And Randy is not going to get in. PureBall is really not having this at all. Look at this. Supply depot coming down very early on. Much, much earlier than you might expect. Probe harassment. That's the worst thing about Protoss. You know, throw away anything else. I don't care. You just get out there. It's fine. I don't care about your 4 gates. I don't care about your Colossi. I don't care about your warp gates. What I care about is bloody probe harassment. It is the most annoying thing in the world. Oh, it is so, so horrible. PureBall pushing forward, having a look around, and what does he see? Cybernetics score coming down. Nothing special right now yet for Randy. Will Randy 4 gates? He might. Will PureBall be able to deal with it? Yeah, I think so. We'll find out. Keeps an eye on things. Knows what's coming. No unit out there. I mean, he could really keep the SCV in there and actually keep a better eye on things and see what happens. He's going to wait for a Stalker. He's not putting out an early Zealot. It would make sense if PureBall was to actually get aggressive. The problem is he doesn't really have a massive force to do it. Hasn't gone double barracks. And a nice placement of the probe there by Randy, who's going to see there's 2 Marines coming in right here. And another probe coming out. It looks like he's going to lose it. Yes, he will. Randy will lose that probe. And a nice catch there by PureBall. The question is, will he go for it? And he doesn't know about this Xel'Naga watchtower, so got a factory on the way up for PureBall, and the follow-up's not going to be all that strong for the time being. There goes the Chrono Boost on what? Chrono Boosting out probes, not Chrono Boosting out the Cybernetics core as of yet, so that Warp Gate research will remain fairly placid. PureBall with a good set of units. Needs to get some Marauders on the field, needs to really start getting things going. Will he go for Hellion harassment? If he does, will it work? Yes, honestly, it really will. Randy's got a very open base design. Shouldn't have a problem. And also, of course, this area right here, definitely harassable. PureBall scouts it as well. So Randy has not driven that SCV out of there. Of course, he will now. Will PureBall get any more information? He will not. Taken out in 3 shots there. And PureBall follows that up immediately with a starport. So with double refineries coming down, we are looking for Banshee harassment, perhaps. But then again, he is getting that quite early, so maybe not. With the tech lab going down so early, I have to kind of have my doubts as to whether or not he will go for the Banshee harassment. It looks like he will. He's just taking it off the tech lab right there, so Starport's going down on that. We'll follow it up with Banshees. Randy playing a very conservative style right now. 1 gate into robotics facility, and then probably 2 more gates after that. The problem is that he doesn't really have what he actually needs to deal with the Banshee harassment right now, especially with only 1 gate coming up. He's not going to be able to warp in a lot of Stalkers, and did he spot it? No, he did not, because there's a nice wall off here, and the factory was smartly moved back, as was the starport. So that's nothing to really worry about there for PureBall. Here comes the Cloak, here comes the Banshee right now for PureBall, and if he's able to get the Observer out, which he probably will, I mean, the last game that we saw Randy playing Protoss in, he builds a lot of Observers, and that's a pretty smart thing to do, honestly. I'm very surprised that more people don't do it. So they're not as expensive as they seem sometimes. It really depends what kind of build you're going for. I mean, if you're going for sentries, then you don't have the gas to pump out a bunch of Observers. I believe they cost $25.75 if I recall correctly. I know they got a cost change at one point as well as a build time change. Observer is out on the field. However, Randy is moving it away from the second Observer coming out. Very smart. And no doubt he'll put it in here as well. So he's not completely prepared for it, but he's certainly getting there. Randy with 2 more gateways to follow that one up as well. Once he gets some Stalkers in the field and is ready to receive this Banshee harassment shouldn't work out so badly. There we go. Single starport, 1 Banshee, Cloak on the way. PureBall going to Reactor right there. Will he go the Hellion, or is he looking to just build it for a swap? More barracks following it up, so I would probably say he's building that maybe for a swap after a Banshee comes out, test the water, see if it's worthwhile. If it's not, transition into Marine Marauder Medivac. Randy has a look and sees what he can see. He still hasn't spotted the starport yet. He will in the next few seconds. In the meantime, what's going on right here? The Banshee all the way into the back of that base right now, bringing it down as quickly as possible. The Observer is not there. It will be very, very soon, but he's already able to take 6, as far as I'm concerned, 6 probes, 7 probes. Worthwhile. Can he get away? Oh, wow. Nice play by PureBall. And then not so nice, unfortunately. I would have liked to say that was nice, but he could have gone even further and actually escaped that completely, but he didn't. But it was worthwhile. It was okay. I mean, he took 7 probes for it. There's nothing wrong with that. PureBall takes 1 for free right there as well. If we have a look at army count composition, Randy is still very much ahead, even after losing that many, simply because he's had that expansion up for ages. He's been chrono boosting out probes for a very long time. Banshee coming in once again, and I can't really expect him to put out too much more Banshee harassment because it won't work out all that well. They'll probably force a cancel on that pylon, but I don't know if he'll even do that, actually. Randy's already pushing him away. PureBall needs to leave almost immediately. There's the cloak. It's not enough. Can he get to the edge of that cliff? He can, and he escapes that one quite nicely there. And still, that one wasn't quite as good as the last one. So PureBall, I don't think, has quite realized that that is deployed in the wrong place. That's a very easy mistake to make. PureBall is not deployed on that reactor. There we go. Needs to move out and has to cancel out of the medivac in order to make that happen. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it is kind of annoying nonetheless. You do have to put it in a precision place, and sometimes you can just misclick. Everybody does it, folks. Everybody does it. Don't blame the guy. Marauder coming down right here. Marines on the way as well. Upgrades-wise, pretty light, honestly. He's got Stim and he's got Combat Shield coming in, but no +1. So not a huge amount of firepower at his disposal right now, but that mobility will certainly help. Randy not transitioning into, never mind, as soon as I say that, down comes the robotics base. He certainly has the gas for it. He's certainly got the base for it as well. He's got 2 bases up looking for a 3rd, which looks fairly secure right now for the time being anyway, and a Twilight Council on the way up as well, just for the hell of having it. And here comes the initial push from PureBall. And of course he's going to get those Stim and Combat Shields ready. Should be ready by the time he gets there. Let's have a look at army composition. It is only very slightly in favor of PureBall. And I don't know, with the Stim, he should be able to break it, I would think. With that, he's got a couple of medivacs, as long as he doesn't get them picked off. He hasn't been seen coming in, as far as I can tell. I believe that Observer was in the wrong place to check, so he's not all that prepared, but here comes the additional warp in, which might make a bit of a difference. There is a Banshee in the field as well. That will certainly help. Loses a Marauder for no real good reason right there, and PureBall decides that, no, it's not a good idea. I don't really blame him. He doesn't actually have the force count now. Not after that warp in. He was all right up until that point, but then the army supply tipped in favor of Randy, so yeah, that wasn't going to happen. More medivacs on the way, more Marines, more Marauders, concussive shell upgrade, another barracks coming down as well, indeed, why not? PureBall sitting fairly happily on 2 bases right now, but with the Protoss with 3, and his economy rolling forward in the way that it is, I would start to get worried for PureBall as we go in right now. Look at that, 62 workers to 36, a lot of money coming in right now for Randy. He does have the follow-up, he does have Colossus on the way. No Vikings coming out yet, because of course PureBall has not scouted that. A scan would be very beneficial for him right now, landed sort of around that area, and he'd be able to see pretty much everything. PureBall pushing forward with a very small force. Needs to bring in a few more if he wants to do any real damage. That's not going to happen. Too much on the field right now for his opponent, unit count-wise. 15, in fact. 15 Stalkers, 3 Sentries, a Colossus, and by the looks of it, 5 Zealots. Moving in once again with these Marauders. How much damage can he do? The answer is none, really. And even with 18 Marauders, he's still going to have problems against a force of that type. Looking forward anyway, though. And he doesn't actually have all 18 of them with him. That's the point. He's got more like about 11. So that won't work out so well for him at all. In comes an initial vanguard of Stalkers. Could be nailed down very nicely here. If PureBall actually goes for this, he can kill a few of them, considering he has concussive shell. He does have the reinforcements. There's the Stim. He's patient. He grabs one. He looks for the second. Can he get any more? Yes, he can. He looks down a 3rd one right there. That's for free, folks. That's nice. PureBall taking good vengeance on his opponent for the damage that he was able to do earlier with that force field. However, army count is actually now in favor of PureBall. Excellent stuff. He's got the barracks that he needs. He's got 3 barracks pumping out nothing but Marauders. Going really, really heavy into that. And no Immortals coming out for Randy either, so that's something that would be beneficial to him in that mix. Another starport on the way. Did he scout the Colossus? He did not. He will see it with this next engagement. He should be able to get out without too much of a problem, although it depends on the placement of those force fields. Another scout observer moving in, PureBall moving in additional reinforcements. In the meantime, we're going to drop right here in the back of the base of Randy with the Banshee backing it up. That's unpleasant. And honestly, that Stalker's not going to be able to do that. He needs to get away from there as the Colossus come in. He's drawn his opponent out. Can he take advantage of that? 2 Colossus in the back of the base. They can get down there pretty rapidly, but possibly not rapidly enough. How much economic damage was done? Not enough. Not really enough to pull back that kind of big economic advantage there, but army supply is still looking okay. PureBall's still looking fairly solid. The thing is, he needs to start really doing damage. In we go. Now he knows where those Colossi are. Getting out of there almost immediately. He's blocked it. Randy with an excellent... He surrounds with the Stalkers, backed up with the force fields as well. Kind of thing you'd expect to see from a melee unit. It didn't happen, but those Stalkers blocking him in there very nicely indeed. And Nexus coming down for him. This would be his 4th base. We've got the 3rd base down here for PureBall, backed up by a planetary fortress, backing all the way up to his base right now. And needs to hold off this counterattack. Randy is going to get aggressive right now. Army count is in favor of Randy, not by a huge amount. He does have Vikings on the way. There's 2 Vikings on the field and needs more than that. Really needs more than 4 Vikings to deal with 3 Colossi. It really depends on just how long Randy decides to stay exactly where he is. As he comes to push, folks. Army count still in favor of Randy. Another Warpin perhaps will follow up from that proxy pylon. Those Colossus need to be taken out immediately. He does have the range upgrade. He's got +1 on that as well. In comes the Banshee. It does very little. And PureBall needs to get out of that one very rapidly. Will he actually go for an attack with that? He's actually split his forces up, which I do not rate at all, considering what he's coming up against right now. Marauders take the majority of the damage. In comes the charge. That is an excellent split right there with the force field. Not able to inflict a lot of damage on his opponent at all. Vikings coming in from the side, doing as much damage as they can. Colossus taken out as rapidly as possible. Charging in with the Marauders. However, PureBall still holding this pretty damn well. Needs to bring the Colossus down more so than anything. 1 down. 2nd one followed that one up. Looks for the 3rd. Shields down the Colossus. And he's going to defend this. He's actually going to hold this, unbelievably. He manages to pull that one off and just crushes Randy. That's excellent play, and now he has a huge army supply advantage and a drop on the way to try and deal with that base, but it's covered in photon cannon, so that won't happen. Randy with a mass warp in to follow this one up. Does he have the number of Marauders he needs to break this line? It's fairly mass Zealot, actually, and he doesn't have Zealot charge either, so, you know, those Marauders are going to be quite helpful. 1 Colossus and barely any anti-air. That's free lunch for those Vikings, and PureBall knows it. Pushing forward to try and bring that down immediately. There's the force field split. It's not ideal. Takes a couple of Marauders in the process. Backing up from there, but that's a free Colossus in the process. That's worth it for the cost of a couple of Marauders. Definitely worthwhile. Another Colossus taking out Randy in a bad position, and even a couple of... Is he going to take it? He goes for the Nexus. It's red. It's going down. Can he... so very close. 50 HP left. Almost took the Nexus down. That's ridiculous play there by PureBall. Randy able to hold it only barely. So very, very close right there with a nice slide past there by PureBall. And right now, army supply is back in favor of Randy. The counterattack is coming. PureBall needs to fall back to his base, get back to his bunkers almost immediately. This command center is probably gonna die, honestly. It went down last time, and he doesn't have a planetary fortress to help him out this time around, so PureBall might be in a little bit of trouble. Focusing fire on the Colossus, it will go down with the 2nd salvo. There's the blink. All of those Vikings will be ripped apart. Doesn't matter all that much. In comes the charging Zealots, and right into the line of PureBall. He drops down his Vikings to provide additional supporting fire. Brings him down for the ramp. Is he going to be able to have enough to actually deal with this? I don't think so. GG, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. And PureBall loses that 2nd game, in fact, and it's 1 apiece in this best of 3 series as Randy switches to Protoss. And regardless of PureBall's excellent defense and an amazing counterattack, Randy manages to hold it simply due to a superior economic position for this